Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I'm making the perfect Valentine's Day dessert, chocolate bread pudding. Bread pudding is one of my absolute favorite desserts. It's super simple to throw together. It's really kind of like warm and cozy, especially this time of year. But for Valentine's Day, it has a nice chocolatey twist, which I love making chocolate desserts, especially for Valentine's Day. So I'm doing a slight twist with my chocolate bread pudding, and I am using cinnamon raisin bread, which is so yummy. Now, I know a lot of people don't really like raisins, so you can honestly just use regular white sandwich bread, and this is gonna be awesome. Also, you could use like a really buttery brioche bread. I know they sell it at Aldi and a bunch of other grocery stores, and at Aldi they have chocolate chip brioche, which is really yummy. I also wanted to show you, I pulled all this out of my freezer. I save the heels from all of my white sandwich bread and I freeze them so they don't go to waste. And I can use these for fresh breadcrumbs, I can make French toast casseroles, or bread puddings. My first step is to butter my 9-inch glass baking dish. And I have a little less than a tablespoon of softened butter here just on a paper towel so I don't get my hands all messy. And I'm gonna rub that all over the inside to grease the baking dish. Next, I'm taking about 8 to 10 slices of my cinnamon raisin bread. I say 8 to 10 because these loaves, the slices are quite small, so you just want to kind of fill up your baking dish with however many slices that is. I'm going to tear them into little pieces and then scatter them inside of the glass baking dish. Next, I'm gonna mix together the custard to pour all over top of our little pieces of cinnamon raisin bread. So in this mixing bowl, I'm gonna crack 3 eggs and whisk them together with a half a cup of brown sugar. Next, I'm going to sprinkle in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder along with a pinch of salt. Now, I was kind of in a pinch, so I just bought regular cocoa powder at the grocery store, but my favorite is the Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa Powder because it just adds this kind of extra rich chocolatey flavor, but it's still going to be good, do not worry, and nice and chocolatey too. So in that goes, and then I'll just whisk that together with my eggs and sugar. Next, I'm adding in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and then also 2 cups of milk and a half a cup of half and half. I had heavy cream in my fridge, but I want to save that to make whipped cream for this later. I only had a little bit of heavy cream, but you could use heavy cream instead of the half and half, or you could just use all milk, whatever you want. We're using 2.5 cups of liquid total. So first we'll do the vanilla, and then our milk and half. That gives it that little extra richness. And then I'll whisk all of that together, carefully. And it smells super chocolatey, so you know it's gonna be good. Before I pour the custard over top of my torn bread, I'm gonna sprinkle on just a few semi-sweet chocolate chips. This is totally optional, but it's just gonna kind of bump up that chocolate flavor and also give it a little bit of extra texture. This is like the end of a bag, so there's really only a tablespoon or 2 in here. You can use as many as you'd like. Smells really good. Okay, so the last step is to pour this custard all over top of the bread. And then I'm gonna take my hands and kind of push the bread down into the custard just so that all of it absorbs the liquid, because I don't really want any dry pieces of bread on top. They're gonna get kind of crispy when they bake. I want everything to be nice and soft when it's all said and done. So here goes the custard. If you have a bowl with a spout, use that, because this could be a disaster. I'm trying to be careful here. So you can see there are already a couple of pieces that didn't quite get hit with the mixture. And that's why I'm going to go in and just sort of smush it all down and make sure everything, oh yeah, soaks up that liquid. It's going to be so good. So while my oven preheats to 350 degrees, I'm just gonna let this sit for a few minutes. It's the perfect amount of time because you want that bread to really soak up the liquid. So as long as it takes to preheat the oven, that's gonna happen here. And then we're gonna bake this until the custard is set. While the bread pudding baked, I made some homemade whipped cream, which just takes this dessert over the top. I used a half a cup of heavy whipping cream along with a tablespoon of powdered sugar and a splash of vanilla extract, and then I whisked it together with my electric hand mixer until it was whipped cream. My chocolate bread pudding baked at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. It was still a little bit jiggly, but I kind of poked a fork in the middle and all of the liquid had been absorbed, so I knew that it was ready to go. It looks and smells so incredible. My whole house smells like chocolate and cinnamon. I cannot wait to dig in. Now, to fancy this up a little bit, I am going to sprinkle just about a tablespoon of powdered sugar over top. It's totally optional, but it just adds a little extra garnish. Just a quick note too, that this bread pudding tastes fantastic, both warm or cold, whichever way you want it. I am super excited because now I get to give my chocolate bread pudding a taste. So good. You definitely have to make this for Valentine's Day. It's really chocolatey and rich and warm and comforting. So good. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like today's recipe. Thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you again soon with more family recipes.